Ladies and gentlemen, the American Arab Anti-Discrimination Committee presents their ADC National Convention Gala Awards Banquet. Featuring our keynote speaker, Benjamin Jealous, President and Chief Executive Officer of the NAACP. And the recipients of the Guardian of Justice Award, the Hala Maqsood Leadership Award, and the Alex Odeh Memorial Award. With a special musical performance by New York maestro Bassam Saba and Syrian classical vocalist Lubana Al Quntar. And now, please welcome ADC President Warren David.
Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Warren David, and I'm the president of ADC, and I'm happy to be the president of ADC, and happy to serve all of you, the members and constituents of ADC. I want to welcome you to tonight's gala. For those of you who've been with us the last few days, I hope you've enjoyed your time at the convention. Have you enjoyed your time at the convention? We've had a wonderful 3 days, and we're so happy to have you here at this gala. And we're going to begin with the national anthem sung by Lacey Barrow. Please welcome her.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Wow, thank you, Lacey. That was beautiful. Before we begin, I want to introduce to you our distinguished guests at the head table and our sponsors and our special guests in the audience. Let me start with the head table. Start with to my extreme left, the chairman of the ADC Board of Directors, Dr. Safa Rifka. Next to Dr. Rifka, we are so honored to have all the way from Palestine, the Archbishop of Theodosius of Sebastia, Atallah Hanna. Next to Sayyidina, we have the man, he's a member of our national board and also the man that brought the Archbishop. Please welcome Tawfiq Barkawi. Next, we have our Alex Odeh Memorial Award recipients, Dr. and Mrs. Farsakh. And next to them, I don't have to give an introduction to our former president and ADC aficionado for many, many years and great supporter of ADC, Mr. Albert Mukhaiber. Next, from Detroit, a great attorney. He's the chairman of the Michigan Advisory Board and also a very, very esteemed member of our community. Please welcome the Guardian of Justice Award recipient, Sharif Akil. And last on this side, we have man that is you've heard of the NFL, right? The NFL Football League. He is the assistant director. I hope I'm giving him the right title, but he's up there. He's the man from the NFL Players League. Please welcome one of our own, George Atullah. To my right, my lovely wife, Dr. Amal David. Our keynote is on his way. He's in the car being picked up. He's running a little late, but he will be here tonight. Benjamin Jealous, the chairman of the NAACP. And this man needs no introduction. The former ambassador of the Arab League, one of ADC's most famous, how can I say it? He's part of our family 100 times. And we welcome him here. He's one of our favorite people. Please welcome Dr. Clovis Maksoud. Next to Dr. Maksoud, the recipient of the Hala Maksoud Leadership Award from California, Rima Neshashibi. And next to Rima, member of our national board and also a very close associate of ours. He works with Rima on a new initiative that we're doing in California, and he was instrumental in having her get the award. Please welcome Dr. Suhail Tubia. I also want to thank or make note that we have a very esteemed member of our audience tonight. We have the PLO representative. Please welcome Man Arakat. I also want to take this opportunity to thank our sponsors, because without your continued support, we wouldn't be able to put on these great conventions and give the community a chance to come together and celebrate our achievements. This year's sponsors, and if you have a program book, if you did, you might have got it at registration. If not, get one before you leave. The Royal Embassy of Saudi Arabia, El Monitor, Consolidated Contractors, Dr. Safa Rifka, Anham USA, Saudi Aramco Services Company, the Bank of Palestine, Chevron, Coca-Cola Company, DTE Energy, Embassy of the State of Qatar, Embassy of the State of Kuwait, Asad Jabara, Minamar Foods, Bill Ossie, Busboys and Poets, the Council on American Islamic Relations, Dish Network, Islamic Relief, Palestine Investment Fund, International Institute for Islamic Thought, Paltel from Palestine, Bassam Hishmi, Adil Kirker, USA Network Characters Unite, Embassy of the Sultanate of Oman, Marathon Oil Company, and El Prime Energy. Please give all of these sponsors a great hand for making this convention possible. The theme of this year's convention is "It Starts With You." And our intent this year is to convey to you your importance in the work ADC does and the community as a whole. Over the last few days, we have put on a multitude of events that were designed to showcase how vital you are to the work. Can you please listen just for a second? I'm sorry, okay. How vital you are to the work that we do to give you tools to utilize in your communities to do this crucial work. Everything does start with you, because it is you that compromise our community and this organization. ADC's work starts with you and is done by each and every one of you. My last 2 years as president have driven that point home for me. Working with the community on a daily basis has shown me how imperative it is that each of you are present, ready, and willing to do the work that our community needs. I really hope that over the last few days that you've gained a greater understanding of how critical you are to everything we are doing here and how important each of you is to the community. It's my sincere hope that as you return to your daily lives after tomorrow's events, that you will carry on the realization with you and let it guide you as you work in the community. Now I'd like to introduce the chairman of our national board, Dr. Safa Rifka. Dr. Rifka has been a supporter of ADC for decades, and we appreciate the work he has done for this organization. Please welcome Dr. Rifka.
Good evening. Thank you for coming from across the land to celebrate with us your achievements. Your achievements over this year has been a lot because the challenges that we are facing has been mounting. The Arab American community has on its shoulders to defend the constitution of this country at this time. We are facing a lot of challenges, last of which that you knew about a week ago. Every time you make a phone call, there is a partner. Every time you email, there is a partner. And we don't mind that because we want them to listen to what we are saying. Point in fact, we invite them to come here to listen to what we say. We invited the president now for the third year in a row, and he said no. They prefer to listen to us on the other stuff. We invited the vice president, and he said no. Okay, we don't despair. Next year, we're going to make another attempt. We are American citizens. We have a place at the table, and we want them to be here to listen to us firsthand to what we want to do. So please, tomorrow or Monday, a little bit of a message to the White House. Mr. President, you have an empty chair. We missed you. Because he's about 2 blocks away from here. Those of you who came from California, and from Florida, and from Texas, and from North, and from overseas, had time to come. It's only a driving of few blocks. I say that because we have to start participating in the civic life here. And we have to be part of the political process. And we have to start becoming Americans of Arab descent rather than Arabs in America. We are American citizens. We pay taxes. We want our dues. We want our seat at the table, and by God, we should get it. I thank everybody for coming. I thank the diplomatic corps. Ambassador Ariqat is here, so man, thank you for coming. I would like to thank Warren. I'd like to thank Nabil and Abed and the entire office for a great job that they are doing. And I would like to thank our volunteer corps that have been inspired, and they do it day in, day out. The young volunteers who are in the office, I leave it to Warren. I don't want to trespass because I know he's going to thank them all. But I want to thank Amal for being a great volunteer at ADC. I want to send a personal message to her. I want to also thank the board of directors. The board of directors are the ones behind the scene, the selfless guys. Nobody knows who they are. They're commissioned to do what they do. They go and fundraise. They are the tentacles of the organization. So please have all the board of the directors stand up so that you will be recognized. Stand up. I want to thank you guys for the hours that you pledge. This is a selfless job, completely volunteer. Not only you pay of your time and of your money, you pay of your sleeping hours. ADC eats with you on the plate, sleeps with you on the pillow, wakes up with you in your worries, and I commend you, and we're looking forward for a great year together. This year, we have added 2 members that were elected to the board, and a third member too. The three members are Yasser Shallal, stand up. He's new. I want to introduce them. Alma Korkor, where is Alma? And Dr. Suhail Elia. These are our new board members. Thank you very much, and I hope you have a great convention. Don't forget, on Monday morning to the White House, the title should be We Missed You. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rifka. It's time to recognize a few members of the community for the work that they do, and we're going to be doing our awards right now. The first award will be presented this evening is the Guardian of Justice Award, and I'd like to welcome ADC's Legal and Policy Affairs Director, Mr. Abed Ayoub, to the stage.
Thank you, Warren. Thank you, Dr. Safa, for your remarks. And thank you all for joining us this evening. As Warren mentioned, the first award we'll be presenting is the Guardian of Justice Award, which is given to Attorney Sharif Akil for his commitment in preserving justice for all. Being a native of the great city of Detroit, Michigan, I've had the privilege to work with Sharif. I've had the opportunity to learn from Sharif, and I've had the opportunity to witness Sharif's commitment to ADC and commitment towards the community throughout the years. Sharif's story is kind of is telling and similar to our story. Reason being is that one day after 9/11, his life's changed, the same as all of ours in this room. See, prior to 9/11, Sharif was into accounting, business, practicing law, personal injury, contracts, really, where the money is. September 12th, he gets a visit in his office from a Yemeni American who says, you know what, I was fired from my job. My boss told me to go back and tell your leaders we don't want you here. Then the cases started coming in. And then I think that's at the moment where Sharif and other attorneys stepped up and said, we need to commit ourselves. We need to do what we could to help the community move forward in this time. And it has been a challenging decade, and it has been a challenging few years, well over a decade now. And it's certainly, we would not have gotten to this point without the commitment from attorneys like Sharif Akil and from individuals like Sharif Akil who are dedicated for one thing, and that's the preservation of justice and the preservation of equality, not only for Arab Americans, but for all Americans. Currently, Sharif is serves as the co-chair of the ADC Michigan Advisory Committee. He contributes to the growing success of ADC Michigan. One of the key cases we've worked on over the past year, and we helped support over the past year, was a case brought by Sharif in 2004 related to the Abu Ghraib prisoner torture cases. You see, he brought forward a case representing a number of prisoners that were tortured. They were the ones in the pictures you've seen in the headlines. They were the ones in the pictures you've seen all over the news. The case is still going on. And recently the government denied their visas, denied them entry into the U.S. to attend a court hearing. Well, as you know, that jeopardizes their ability to provide testimony, their ability to tell their story. But nonetheless, Sharif, his partners, are still going forward. They're still fighting. And I have no doubt in my mind that they will continue fighting and continue pressing forward for the issues that matter most to us. So I want to call Attorney Sharif Akil up to accept the award. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, ADC, for this wonderful award. This Guardian of Justice Award is an honor, but I really believe that we're all, this is discrimination for tall people. I just want to make this a point here. This is not right. This is an issue here I'm going to bring up. But no, on a more serious note, we're all woven from the same cloth, and I just believe that I'm one part of the cloth here. Any of us would be up here if we're presented with the same set of circumstances, and we're all having our own challenges. So it's an honor for me to be the one cloth up here. I want to, you hear people being asked about the future of America, and you hear a lot of bleak perspectives or a negative perspective that the economy's bad, there's an erosion of our civil rights, we're being wiretapped, where our phones are being monitored, the government knows what we're reading, what doctors we're going to, and so you really get this, you have this sense of negative perspective. But if you ask me, I have the totally opposite perspective of how bright America is, and the reason why it's very bright is because of all of you, because of first-generation immigrants, immigrants or descendants of first-generation immigrants, persons who have come from overseas, from oppressive regimes. And it's those folks that serve as the pillar and serve as a reminder of what this Constitution is all about. And why is that? We know what it's like to be free. We have tasted oppressive regimes. We have tasted what it means when our phones are being monitored, when our speech is being censored, when our religious practices are being curtailed. We have seen it firsthand. We know what it's like. We have seen our cousins, our aunts, our grandparents, and we hear the stories. So we're so vigilant and so conscious of what it means to be free. We have seen our cousins overseas fight for freedom as of this time in Syria, in Yemen, in Libya, and in Egypt. People are dying for freedom, and it's hitting us personally, hitting us home. So people who are born here, it's a wonderful opportunity for them, but if they have not really tasted that or have had an opportunity to know what it is not to be free, it's very difficult to not appreciate, or it's very difficult to appreciate what you have. And that is why we're all serve as the guardians. And so it's not just me, it's all of us. And that's the reason why the future is very bright. A case in point is regarding right now we hear the outrage of the wiretapping and the IRS targeting. We've been crying foul since September 11 on that. The outrage now is coming out, but we were in the front line we were in the front line, we were in the news, making a plea to the government, to the public, about this sense of erosion of our rights. We were in the front line of this war right now between where we're losing our liberty, because we don't want to lose what we have fought to come here for and what we see our cousins and aunts and everybody overseas struggling to obtain. The case that I'm relying on, the case that I'm advancing or we're participating in, this is regarding a case involving torture, and it's where aliens or Iraqis were tortured in an inhumane way. The law that we're relying on is a 1789 law that was envisioned by the founding fathers. They call it the Alien Tort Claim Act. And the reason why they called it alien, it's not American Tort Claim Act, alien, because they recognize there's this universal right for all humans to be treated in a humane manner. And we're just carrying on that baton, that vision of the founding fathers. Again, it's a testament to being guardians of the Constitution to do what we can. So because we have immigrants and because we have first-generation immigrants and we have organizations like ADC who are advocate for our rights, that is why our future is very bright. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Akil. Next, I want to bring to the stage a very important member of the ADC family, Dr. Clovis Maksoud. Dr. Maksoud is a lawyer, journalist, diplomat, and much more. He has been a longtime supporter of ADC. He worked as the chief representative of the League of Arab States in India from 1961 to 1966. From 1967 to 79, he served as senior editor of El Haram and then chief editor of El Nahar Weekly, and was appointed as the League of Arab States chief representative to the United States and the United Nations in 1979. Dr. Maqsood is also the husband of the late Hala Salam Maqsood, former ADC president. Our next award, which Dr. Maqsood will present in honor of his wife, is the Hala Maqsood Leadership Award. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Dr. Clovis Maqsood.
Yes, okay. Rima Shashibi is getting the award of another person called Hala Maqsood. She was equally an activist. Yet, at this moment in our life, what does the term activist involve? It is an important factor that we have to have people who are focused in their commitment, undisturbed by parasites, and therefore able to deep roots in the conscience of their community. This is an important factor. Activists are the vanguard of progress, the transformers from a status quo which is rotten into a status quo which is ideal. It is a difficult process. It is equally a very inspiring op. We are today in a period where the term Arab has been associated within 1 year with an inspirational notion and definition of spring. And then all of a sudden it became autumn and awesome. This is a time for the Arab Americans or American Arabs, as Dr. Safa has correctly spelled it out, that we must not mirror the problems and the crisis amongst ourselves in this country. We must not be the mirror of what is taking place, but the yeast, khamira, of what ought to take place. And you and in this respect, we have to learn the lessons of our difficulties, complexities, because complexity, if it is not managed, the alternative is chaos, and chaos is not manageable. Today, at this moment of history, when the Arab uprisings asking for open society, social development, sustainable freedoms, and the liberation of Palestine, with those who have trumpeted. And we are being faced within our people of conscience, especially Jews, of people of conscience like Richard Falk, who in his report on Gaza was dubbed by the ambassador of the United States to the United Nations Council on Human Rights in Geneva, unfit to serve. Why? Why unfit to serve? This is a situation where we have been facing it ongoing. We have used terms like Palestine territories are occupied. That is not a correct term. Palestine occupation is not occupation. Palestine, West Bank, and Gaza and Jerusalem are conquered by an alien conquering party. And therefore, we must use terms. We must celebrate those who, like Richard Falk and others, are people who are bringing the humanistic values of Judaism against the Zionist objective and distortion of it. That is why when the call for activism should not be treated as if, oh, they are activists. They are at the forefront of change to the better. And in that respect, we have to be all aware that we have to develop a consciousness of what we want in our future. The Arab nation is a rich nation of poor people. That is the distortion that has to be corrected. The words have to be used in a manner that when we say occupied, they have to be under the governance of Fourth Geneva Convention, which means that there is no settlements, because settlements is an expression and a manifestation of conquest. In this respect, my friends, you are supposed to be, as Dr. Rifka said, Americans, Arabs. Americans, to celebrate the values and to expose the double standard when it comes to the Palestinian question. This is a job for the vanguard of ADC, as the vanguard of the Arab American consciousness. Not only you are expected to fight against discrimination, you are supposed to restore to the words its sanctity. Because words are being abused by the enemies of the Arabs. And in that respect, the best example, as we said, is the terrible tragedy that Justice Goldstone suffered when he was, as a Jew, even attacked because he had an objective report on the tragedy of Gaza. Yet, Richard Falk will not resign. He told the Secretary General of the United Nations, "You can remove me, but I will not resign." That is the strength of the moral cause that the Palestinian tragedy has inflicted upon liberating a Jew like Richard Falk from the Zionist control of the Atabite. My friends, you are on the threshold, if you become American Arabs, to keep the Arabs, their ferment, their quest for justice and freedom, their ability to develop, the need for them to have women empowerment, and to bring about that consciousness which have made the National Security Advisor and the Ambassador of the United States to United Nations, both civil rights activists at the beginning. They must apply their values that they fought within the United States to be applicable to what is happening to the Palestinian people. And therefore, when we award, or when the ADC has kindly awarded my late wife's name for an award to an activist, she is assuming the awardee a responsibility of new dimensions. Not only the responsibility of having been an activist, but having to become a foreground at the activists on the national level, fighting poverty in the United States, fighting for women's empowerment in the United States, fighting the discrimination in the United States, fighting those who distort Arab image, Arab claims, Arab rights, and Arab aspirations and the Arab Renaissance. I call on Ms. Nashashibi to please come and receive this award.
Ambassador Maqsood, Chairman Dr. Safarif, President Warren David, and Mutran Atallah Hanna, and honored members of the head table, excellencies, and honored guests. I'm so honored to be here tonight. I'm humbled actually to be here tonight, but I think I might have been the second choice. Maybe the first choice couldn't make it. But I'm so honored to receive the Leadership Award in the name of Dr. Hala Maqsood. I knew her personally. She embodies all the qualities of a leader. She was a leader, an Arab American woman of her time. She was a trailblazer, and she was a mentor to me and a close friend. And thank you so much for this award and for being here tonight. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Now, I wanted to thank all my family and friends who are here tonight, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to go to California. So Omar Nashashibi, if he's still here, I know he had to go to a babysitter for his son. He's the owner of a lobby firm in Orange County, Omar, in Washington, D.C., and it's called the Franklin Partnership. Samira Saud is here also from Orange County. She used to be the president of ADC Orange County and the president of the Palestinian Women Association of Southern California. Thank you, Samira, for being here. We also have close friends who came all the way from Mexico and other countries, Nadim Zakharia and others, and thank you all for being here tonight, because I know you are here to support EDC first and support maybe myself second by receiving this award. I come to you from the land of Orange County, which is basically the land of Alex Odeh. We all know about Alex Odeh. We all know what happened to Alex Odeh. But we also need to thank Congresswoman Loretta Sanchez. Congresswoman Loretta Sanchez has just agreed to write a letter, and she sent it to Attorney General Eric Holder in order to give them an update on what happened to the perpetrator of Alex Odeh's murder. They all know who did it, but yet they never brought them to justice. I'm assuming with all the technology and the fact that they were able to find who have done the heinous crime in Boston right away, they're able to get the perpetrator of Alex Odeh's back from wherever they are at this time. Don't you think? So I would like you to call Congresswoman Loretta Sanchez at her office and thank her legislative director. She responded in less than a week by writing that letter. So please call her and thank her. And please call your representative also to send a similar letter asking for the update on Alex Odeh's murder. We in Orange County, we are restarting the chapter in Orange County, and we are reinstating the Alex Odeh Memorial Banquet. We want to keep the memory of Alex alive. Also, at the same time, we are thankful for the board because they have approved a scholarship in the name of Alex Odeh, and they have also agreed to start the seed money of $5,000 to start this scholarship award. It's going to be a nationwide award, and it's going to go to students who are taking courses in peace studies and conflict resolution. So if you're in the crowd and you're interested, please let us know. We are going to have a member of the Odeh family on that committee. They're coming up with the criteria, and they will decide based on the criteria that they put and who's going to get it. Now, it is important. We've heard it all over this convention, and we're thankful for this awesome convention. All over that it's all about advocacy, is all about building bridges, because we're very successful in what we do. It's that we need to do more advocacy. But we need to do more advocacy, we need to build bridges, and we need to empower women and young girls. Now, I think you could do it more for women. If you've been to the Women Initiative meeting, and thanks for Dr. Amal David, the women have decided in their meeting that they're going to increase the membership of ADC by 25%. That they are going to do more advocacy, and they are going to build bridges with other women's organizations. So I think the rest of the chapters can either do the same or more, as much as the Women Initiative group members. There was over 120 women in that room. And thank you for attending, and thank you for your leadership, Amal. Yes. So again, I thank you very much. I don't want to take more of your time because a friend of mine said the best speech is a short speech. Thank you very much.
All right, please welcome our our keynote speaker. He's just entered, Benjamin Jealous. All right, our last award this evening is the Alex Odeh Memorial Award, and I can think of no better person to present this award than former ADC President Albert Mulkheiber.
Ladies and gentlemen, the theme tonight for this award is Alex Odeh. And many of you knew him. Many of you fought with us to get justice in his case, and hopefully will continue to do so as the board and the office have rededicated their efforts recently to do so. Unfortunately, we were not able to do it in time as his brother passed away this week, Sammy Odeh. So we'd like you to bow your heads for 10 seconds, please, as Sammy was buried today during our convention. Thank you. Sammy was a tireless fighter for Alex. Alex was killed on October 11th, 1985. He was assassinated. It was an act of terrorism. We know who these people are. The 3 American suspects, 1 is in jail in California, 2 remain at large, suspected to be in the West Bank settlement. This is a travesty of justice.
With all the technology, as Rima mentioned earlier, there's no question that this case can be resolved quickly if there's the will. There's certainly the way, but the will needs to be there. And I think it would be perfect, especially for our government, to realize that there's one standard of civil rights at home and human rights abroad. Alex was no less or no more of a man than anyone else, but he deserves justice, and his parent and his family deserves justice. So there are letters that will circulate tonight and throughout the weekend. Please sign those letters so they can go off to the government to get this case reopened. We're hoping that the Attorney General's office will do it expeditiously and without fail. We should never, never forget Alex's case. You know, there were 3 bombings that year. 4ADC's office is in Boston, where 2 police officers were seriously injured, our national headquarters, and Alex's assassination. So this wasn't a fluke. In that same spirit and same tradition, we have 2 people tonight that have been charter members of the organization who've tirelessly fought for Arab American rights, for the rights of the Palestinians, and have done it as a team. You know, the theme is it began with you, but you as a plural. And in this case, the plural is a wonderful couple. I mean, we are blessed to have wonderful couples throughout ADC. You have Warren and Amal. Amal is a dynamo that keeps Warren moving all the way around the country, right? You had Hala and Clovis. We don't even need to name the last names. It's like Sonny and Cher. We know who these people are, right? And of course, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my wife, Hind. But Yusif and Andrea are another one of those names. They never go anywhere without each other. It's been 33 years that they've been members, 33 years that they probably have never missed, at least to my knowledge, a convention. They never say no, and they quietly but steadfastly move forward on all of these issues. I'm not going to read the bios. They're here. You know their pedigree. You know the type of people are, the type of work they've done. But I will tell you one thing that's sort of cool that I didn't know until this week when I got this information. You know about the apps, right? Everybody's got a phone now with an app. It's a thing of the very modern, of the very young. Well, Yusif is very young because he developed an app, a very cool app for Palestinian embroidery. So you can take this app and you know where that embroidery is from, where that tatriz, what village it's from, just by doing that. What a way of capturing the history of the people. So please give a warm welcome to Yusif and Andrea, the awardees this year for the Alex Odeh Memorial Award, presented annually to individuals who demonstrate exceptional leadership, public service, and commitment to ADC and the Arab American community. It was drafted for this couple. Please come forward. Andrea, come.
Well, I would like to begin by thanking ADC for honoring Andrea and me with the Alex Odeh Award. Alex is from Jifna. Jifna is within a mile of Birzeit, my hometown. And together with Aboud, they lie on the Roman road that the Holy Family took from Nazareth to Jerusalem. We Palestinian Arabs, Christians and Muslims have lived together for centuries in harmony. Birzeit, my hometown, has an Orthodox church, a Catholic church, a Protestant church, and a mosque. We have always celebrated our joyful events together and shared our sorrows. it was not unusual for a Christian woman to breastfeed a Muslim child or a Muslim woman a Christian. I, a Muslim, was breastfed by Martha Lias. Her son Yaqub was my age. My sister Sharifa breastfed Maha Fuad Aranki, wife of the Rev. Dr. Naim Atiq, the founder of Sabil. For decades, I have been volunteering for many Palestinian, Arab American, and American organizations with one goal in mind: seeking justice for Palestine and Arabs in America. I made a condition of my employment at the Bureau of Labor Statistics that I leave the office at 4 p.m. every Friday, so that by 5:30 p.m. I could stand, often alone, with my large Palestinian flag across the street from the Israeli embassy. I did this for several years, rain or shine. Thank you. I continue to be active with American Friends of Birzeit University, as well as with Birzeit Society. Arab American political concerns are close to my heart, so I recognize the importance of commitment and activism to the U.S. political system. I am a precinct captain in Arlington and have been active in the Arlington Democratic Committee and Arab American Democrats for Virginia for many years. Just as important as raising Arab American concerns on the political stage, awareness of our endangered Palestinian cultural heritage must be ceaselessly spotlighted. The snatching of our rich culture, food, architecture, dance, and embroidery continues virtually ignored by those in the West. To help push back, I am in partnership with International Graphics in creating a free mobile application to educate and encourage the appreciation of Palestinian embroidery. Last week, the New York Times reported that Britain would compensate Kenyan victims of colonial era torture before 1960. We Palestinians, like the Kenyans, should also demand compensation from Britain for the Palestine Mandate and its responsibility for the Nakba of 48. In 1917, Britain promised the Jews a homeland in Palestine without consulting its Palestinian majority. It trained and armed the Jewish community in Palestine while failing to protect the Palestinian population between 1920 and 1948. The cities of Haifa, Acre, Jaffa, Tiberias, and nearby villages were occupied by the Zionists and their residents expelled before the end of the mandate, May 15, 1948. The British authorities alerted the Zionists to their withdrawal route and early departure. We must also demand justice from Israel. The New York Times reported from Jerusalem on October 22, 1973, that a censorship board composed of 5 cabinet members prohibited former Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin from including in his memoirs his personal account of the expulsion of 50,000 Palestinian civilians from their homes in Lidda and Ramla. There is a 7-minute video confession by the Israeli officer who ignited the explosives and that destroyed Lidda's main mosque with the Christian and Muslim men in it. After separating the people of Lidda and Ramla from their valuables, and worse, from their homes, they were ordered to go east to Ramallah and Birzeit area. The summer heat and the lack of water added to their misery. Children and old people died on the road. I saw with my own eyes What happened when Birzeit was overwhelmed by refugees and ran out of housing? The people had to settle under olive trees, hanging burlap sacks for privacy. However, politics is the arena that requires our most enthusiastic participation. Actually, I may have skipped a little paragraph here. We should be proud of the Arab American community. Our people can and have succeeded in any field they enter, from entertainment and technology to fashion and medicine. However, politics is the arena that requires our most enthusiastic participation, yet our members in Congress are sparse. We must realize that politics is the field where we can make the most positive contributions, not only for Arab Americans, but for the American ideals, what America stands for at her very best, very heart. Wouldn't it be great if we had many more Arab American congressmen and senators who represent the best interests of America? Every American, everyone in this room, has one congressman and two senators. The best tribute we could give Alex Odeh is to demand action by calling or visiting the offices of our congressmen and senators and contacting Attorney General Eric Holder. In closing, I would like to quote Samuel Adams, a great revolutionary and a signatory of the Declaration of Independence. Adams was from Massachusetts, which holds special significance for me, as it is where I went to college and graduate school, and most importantly, where I met my wife, who went on to a sterling foreign service career in the Arab world and the State Department, and who still lectures on Palestine in her retirement. Samuel Adams said, that's the person who has the Adam beer named after him, Samuel Adams. Okay. He said, it does not require a majority to prevail, but rather an irate, tireless minority keen to set brush fires in people's minds. Thank you.
This year, unfortunately, we lost many members in ADC. I don't know if the slideshow is available, and we're running a little bit late, so I don't want to take more of your time, but at least one person that I want to recognize, and there's a tribute to our former Vice President, Wafa Nasser, on page 36 that you can read. Unfortunately, his family couldn't make it tonight because his wife, believe it or not, lost her sister and brother within 2 days this week. Oh, they're here. Oh, Flavio. Okay. Please, Flavio, stand. Wafa was a pillar, not just of ADC, but of the community. And I can still see his broad smile as we sit right now, looking down on us, reminding us not to forget not just him, but what he admonished us, to invest in ADC for the future of your children and your grandchildren. Warren said, the program's going along, we can't fundraise. I said, no, Wafa wouldn't like that. So please, when it comes time to support your organization, think of all of these pillars, Wafa and all the ones who we've lost this year, Salma Abdu from Syracuse, Dick Curtis from the Washington Post on Middle East Affairs, Bill Mansour, a former board member, I don't know if I'm missing him, Alexa Naff, who just passed away at almost 100 years old, who has a collection at the Smithsonian. So we lost some giants this year. So in their memory, rededicate yourselves, your children, your grandchildren to the organization. Please think, act. It all starts with you, and it all ends with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Albert. I'd like to, we're going to have dinner, but just before we have dinner, I'm going to ask the Archbishop of Jerusalem to give a blessing.
بارك يا رب طعام وشراب عبيدك، وبارك يا رب هذا اللقاء وهذا الاجتماع، واجعلنا يا رب نخدم هذه الأمة وقضاياها العادلة، وأن نكون خداما حقيقيين لفلسطين ولشعب فلسطين ولعاصمة فلسطين القدس. آمين.
Thank you, Sayyidina. We are now going to have dinner served, and right after dinner, we'll be hearing from our keynote speaker, Benjamin Jealous, the president of the NAACP, and we have a beautiful music performance featuring Maestro Bassam Saba from New York with Syrian opera singer Lubana Al Quntar. Many of you might remember at Tarath that she was very gracious singer. So enjoy sahtain, enjoy dinner, and eat quickly because we're running late. We'll be back with you in just a few minutes.